provided the bracelets tonight, the RFID bracelets. And we've been doing this at festivals all over the world. So bracelets are not just a way of getting into an event and reducing fraud with ticketing. It's also a way of getting people into a festival quickly and then also interacting with them through games, gamification like prize giveaways, also reaching out to their social networks. So being able to use a bracelet to just swipe it, take a picture, it posts to your Facebook, and then basically promote everything that you're doing at a festival to your community is bringing whatever you're doing at the festival to a larger community. So I hope you enjoy the experience. Try it out this evening. Hopefully you win some prizes, and we'll see you back in February. Thank you very much for having us.
Ladies and gentlemen, just an item of entertainment. Please put your hands together for a brother who is blowing up the radio these days, one of the most popular songs. Put your hands together for Mr. Famous.
What we say? No. Turn up the volume a little bit, huh? Turn up. Play more. Hold on. We know it's a launch, but I am hear any music though. Run the rhythm again. Play a little louder. Just give him a little something. All the others stand up and dance. You see, I'm begging for you. Run the rhythm again. Man. What we say? No. Anybody like local music? Tell them, play more local for the carnival and play more local after carnival. What you say? Hey. Well, this is famous rather than famous. What we say? No. What we say? A lot of sexy ladies in here tonight. We go tell them what we mean, and we mean what we say. Everybody, what we sing. Tell them bring back Shadow. They better bring back Sparrow. They better play more Kitchener. Tell them play more Arrow. What we sing to bring back Shadow. Tell them bring back Sparrow. They better play more Kitchener and play more Arrow. Tell them don't know what they're singing. Tell them don't know what they're doing. Tell them don't know what they're singing. The youth them don't know what they're doing. Everything is Uncle Demon and Nephew Demon. Tell the cartel and popcorn what really going on. Wake up in the morning, turn on the radio. Jam up. Wake up in the morning, turn on my radio. Me not know about you, but me know about me. Guys have a run about you. Everybody sing to bring back Shadow. Tell them to bring back Sparrow. They better play more Kitchener. They better play more Arrow. Everybody sing to bring back Shadow. Tell them to bring back Sparrow. They better play more Kitchener and play more Arrow. From Point to Tobago, where the youths them listening, I don't know. From John to Manzan, like the youths them worshiping Satan. Everybody sing Uncle Demon. Tell them sing to Nephew Demon. All the cartel and popcorn. What really going on? Wake up in the morning, turn on the radio. What they want? Ram up, chip. They want to jam up. Wake up in the morning, turn on the radio. Hear this song. Tip on your toe for the love, yana gal. Tip on your toe for the love, yana gal. Wake up in the morning, turn on the radio. Everybody sing to. Oh, don't be whining on the road. Jan, how are you whining on the? What? Wine. What? Wine. Clutch. Mike, what? They better bring back Shadow. Tell them bring back Sparrow. When we sing to play more Kitchener. They better play more Arrow. Everybody sing to bring back Shadow. Tell them to bring back Sparrow. They better play more Kitchener and play more Arrow. You used them listening to conscience, but they don't have no conscience. Now for them listening to cartel, but they want to be now you can't tell. Everybody sing to Uncle Demon. Tell them to Nephew Demon. Only cartel and popcorn. What really going on? Bring back Shadow. Turn on back Shadow. Bring back Explainer. Tell them to David Rudder. So you better bring back Shadow. What you think to? Bring back Sparrow. You better bring back Explainer. Baron and the Miss Plumber. One more time. Wake up in the morning. Tell them turn on my radio. What they want? Jam up, and I wanna be down. They want to jam up, and I wanna be down. Wake up in the morning. Turn on my radio. Jam up, and I wanna be down. They want to jam up, and I wanna be down. Wake up in the morning. Turn on my radio. I born as a bedroom bully. Bedroom. What? Wake up in the morning. Turn on my radio. What? Die. Somebody died. What? Wake up in the morning. Turn on my radio. I wire right pan. I wire right pan. What? Right. Famous better than Seamus.
Eat more ice cream, drink more water, buy more phone card, and then play more lotto. Give him a round of applause, everyone. Mr. Famous, blowing up these days, man. I'd like you to give a warm welcome to a gentleman who has given tremendous support to the schools, the young developers and minds of tomorrow, and also to the International Soca Monarch. Please, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome the Honorable Minister of Education, the Honorable Tim Gopi Singh.
Thank you very much, Mark. Mr. Peter Schoon, Chairman of the International Soca Monarch Competition, Mr. William Monroe in his absence and founding member of the Caribbean Prestige Foundation, our own Ms. Wendy Fitzwilliam, Public Relations Officer, the Mayor of Port of Spain, my good friend, Mr. Raymond Timke, and of course my parliamentary colleague, Ms. Donna Cox, heads and representatives of the various sponsors of the 2014 competitions being launched here tonight, distinguished soca artists, specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. A very pleasant good evening to one and all. As I stand here tonight at the launch of what is without doubt one of our country's biggest cultural events in modern times, I recall the words of American author Daniel Quinn, who once said, "Once you learn to discern the voice of mother culture humming in the background, telling her story over and over again to the people of your culture, you will never stop being conscious of it. Wherever you go for the rest of your life, you will be tempted to say to the people around you, how can you listen to this and not recognize it for what it is, our soca?" Close quotation. For 23 years now, Trinidad and Tobago have listened to the voices of our beautiful, unique and inspiring culture in the form of soca. I want to pay a special tribute this evening to the man, a distinguished gentleman who made its development possible, Mr. William Monroe. And let us give a round of applause to Mr. Monroe in his absence. In 1990, when the Calypso art form was being expressed in diverse ways, now known as soca, which were not being properly reflected with the traditional Calypso Monarch competition, Mr. Monroe had the foresight to ensure that the younger generation of performers received a much-needed outlet for the exposure of this new sound and indeed validation of their talents. In the 2 decades since, he has ensured that the competition grew and improved to the point where now it stands as one of the Carnival's most internationally and globally acclaimed events. For that, our country is eternally grateful, and this would most definitely enhance our reputation and the reputation of all involved as true patriots of our soil. To all the distinguished artists, and so many of you are so distinguished in your performances and in your talent, and the other contributors to this great event. And tonight we see one of the most majestic openings of this event. And you see the beautiful, everything is so beautiful around us. I want to congratulate each and every one of you for the tremendous level of showmanship you have developed over these past 2 decades for this competition, which consistently serves to remind our country and the Caribbean region and world at large that we are a people of amazing talents and abundant creativity. As Minister of Education, I cannot underscore enough the major significance of the National Schools Soca Monarch competition to the nation's children and indeed our education system. And tonight I see young Mr. Jeremy Rodriguez, and let us congratulate Jeremy for his outstanding performances over the past year and before. In 2013, this event had 24 finalists and was truly a national success, which boasted of the involvement of 45 schools throughout our country and 77 participants. The promotion of the development of the music and other visual arts and talents of our nation's children is quite in keeping with the Ministry of Education's new thrust to introduce and continue the holistic development of our students at the level of the school curriculum. And we all know we have formally introduced visual and performing arts as a compulsory subject in our primary school curriculum. And visual and performing arts is mandatory, at least up to Form 3 in our secondary schools. I want to say, indeed, Mr. Monroe, when he took the decision to introduce the National School Soca Monarch in our nation's primary and secondary institutions so many years ago, it was based on the foresight and recognition that music programs in our schools of all genres and visual arts programs in general go a tremendous way in helping our young, brilliant children and our communities and our country in very real and substantial ways. I therefore give the assurance here tonight that the Ministry of Education will continue to support this event and this great venture in every possible way. I must say that being in the presence of you, such great pool of our country's musical and cultural talent, it impresses upon me the fact that music is a gift from God, which society's leaders have a duty to nourish and cultivate it. We are to ensure social and cultural progress of our nation. For over 2 decades now, the Caribbean Prestige Foundation and you, our distinguished artists, had the courage and conviction to stick to your dreams, hone your remarkable talents, and believe in the power and inspiration of your beautiful music. And because of your dedicated efforts, our country today is poised to continue on a path where its leaders and citizens recognize the true worth of our culture, of which soca music is such an important part. And so, artists, when you see the support that the state, private, and individuals themselves have progressively given to the art form, when you see the sway you have over the people who support your music, I say, you must remember the power you hold, and you must therefore be responsible in how you execute this power. I say this because of the impact our carnival has globally, regionally, internationally, of course, nationally as well. And especially because of the fact that our young people, especially the youths who populate our nation's schools, nearly 250,000, in particular the ones who look up to you soca artists as role models because they see for themselves in you success, not merely in academic performance, but in so many other ways. You have demonstrated, artists, in the past, and undoubtedly will continue to demonstrate tremendous showmanship in your performances, and amazing talent and creativity. What I now appeal to you to do, as indeed I have been appealing to you for the past few years while I have been Minister of Education, is to demonstrate that you acknowledge your very important role as role models, and then accept the responsibility which goes with it, especially at a time when our young people are so easily influenced and prone to some degree of indiscipline and, of course, some degree of delinquency. And the only thing or authority they listen to and see sometimes are within the artists themselves at a national, international level, and our musical heroes. I urge you to make it your personal mission and retain the favor and give our young people positive inspiration and support. Find ways of encouraging them to do well in their work. Show respect for themselves, their peers, their teachers, their elders. Find ways to demonstrate to them that it is more productive and more human to be anti-violent, anti-bullying, anti-discipline, anti-substance abuse, pro-diligence, pro-self-respect, pro-harmony, pro-tolerance, and pro-good citizens. I want to thank young Jeremy Rodriguez and Marshall Montano for the work they have been doing in our schools in the anti-bullying campaign. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Music and the creative talents especially are direct gifts from God, which must be nurtured, nourished, and cultivated by all. It is therefore a proud moment tonight that as we gather to launch the now trailblazing Soca Monarch competition for 2014, we once more recommit to the protection of our intangible cultural heritage, which many countries aspire for, and they could never achieve that. And the continued dedication of our collective efforts to maintaining the continuity of our nation's culture are essential base for enhancing our continued social and economic cohesion in the nation and its overall development and progress. So I close, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, it is the only way we can move forward culturally and in every other instance as a nation and a people. Sincere congratulations to everyone and very best wishes for a very successful and awe-inspiring 2014 Soca Monarch competition. Thank you very much.